Guys, I am back with 5 tips on how to improve the enjoyability of your hunting in the field. Here we go. All right, so the number 1 tip on my list of 5 is fluids. I always keep with me this MICROLITE insulated bottle from GSI. It's 33 fluid ounces. It weighs just 13 ounces. Keeps things hot and keeps things cold. Now, a lot of people carry a Nalgene, has no insulation factor. This is just a little bit heavier than the Nalgene, and I tell you what, it is rad to have. I always have a bladder with a bunch of water in it, but it's good to have a bottle to mix things, put things in that you've cooked, keep hot and cold things as well. A lot of times, especially when it's colder, I'll start the morning in the field with my favorite hot drink, and then later on in the day either warm some stuff up again, make a little bit of soup or whatever, or even some hot cocoa. Let's say you're glassing a big buck, you're waiting for him to come out of the timber, you've got a couple hours, you're hunkered down under your tarp in a rainstorm. This is where it's at. So what do I put in that bottle? Well, a bunch of different stuff. Here's 2 of my favorites. Number 1, cider, spice cider. It is killer. It's a little bit of sodium, it's a little bit of calories. It's warm, it's friendly. I mean, I love the taste of apples, so I love a good spice cider, especially when it's sub-zero out, and you've got some little hot drink of goodness to sip on while you're maybe making your way through the timber or glassing some ridges. This stuff is where it's at. I would say that it's a game changer, but somebody's gonna make fun of me, so I'll just say it's nice to have. But seriously, talk to any dudes that go on these big goat hunts that are in freezing cold weather. A little something like this, make your day. All right, so what do I do when it's super hot out? I do a sports drink mix to give myself electrolytes and just help my body absorb that water a little quicker. I think there are times when water is okay, but some of these early season hunts now that I've been going on are pretty dang warm. I've hit the 90s and almost hit triple digits. And if you're out there all day, I'm telling you what, you are burning calories. Your body is sweating. You physically cannot absorb that water fast enough. And I'll tell you what, this stuff really helps. I really like the SKRATCH Labs hydration mix. There's a bunch of them on the market. Find the one that you like the taste, and that works for your body. This stuff, I love it. My guts, it doesn't affect me. This stuff happens to be non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, kosher, vegan. It's some pretty nice stuff. I used to use this with cycling, and I'll tell you what, I use it with hunting all the time. I usually try to have 1 or 2 when I'm out, just because I need to hydrate and I need a little bit more of that fuel. And when it's warm and you're climbing up and down ridges, you need something. Water isn't gonna cut it. So my next little tip is relatively simple, but it's just seating options. While you're glassing, you're sitting out there, sometimes, again, you're out there for a few hours, sometimes you're out there all day. It's really nice to have a little chair. This is the Chair Zero by HELINOX, and dude, this thing is awesome. Uber lightweight, sets up in a couple seconds, tears down in a couple seconds, and you're ready to go. You throw it in your pack and you're on your way. In fact, I love these things for backpacking because they just change the game. If you're in an area and you're going to be sitting by a fire or doing anything, you're no longer trying to sit on a rock. You've got a nice little chair with you. So I've moved these over to my glassing while hunting, and I'm telling you what, they sure do beat just sitting on the ground. Now, depending on where I am, sometimes I still, hanging on off a cliff or whatever, and I'm, knolled up against some rock formation and I don't have my chair out. But if you've got availability of time and you want to get a chair out, it's a good way to do it. Another option that I always have with me is this little Thermarest Z seat. So again, that is something you can just pull it off my pack, pull it out. A lot of guys will cut a portion of their sleeping pads to do this. I am going to do that for this next year, but tell you what, some little portion of foam, throw down over little rocks if you don't have a chair with you. I always have this, and a lot of times I'll throw in the seat as well, depending on what I'm going to do, but this is always in my pack. And just a little insulation from the ground, helps with heat transfer, and then a little more comfort as well. I never never, ever do not have this in my pack. This thing is a serious game changer. So I would definitely recommend that. All right, so the next tip, tripod. Having a tripod to grid out where you're glassing is super helpful. And also, I mean, depending on how much glassing you're doing, your arms get pretty tired, and you can sit down, get in a great position, pull this baby out, and then switch from binos to spotter. I mean, seriously, uber invaluable. I always make sure before I go on a stock that it's an animal that I want to take, that's mature enough, that I want to put some effort into. You know, a lot of these stocks are a couple hours long, and you're going to exert some serious energy. So these kind of things, they're real easy, they're real simple, but they just take the quality of your hunt up a notch. I really like this option from Sirui. I've been rocking this for the past year, and I'll tell you what, I don't leave camp or the truck without it. And last, but probably one of my favorites, is radios. So me and a couple of my buddies started using radios this past year, and there are a couple of distinct advantages by using them. Number one, being able to just locate and talk to your buddy after you've gone on a stalk, let him know what's happened, kind of let him know where you're heading, where you're going. You know, sometimes I've set something down, forgot it, and said, hey, can you swing by and pick this up? I mean, there are a ton of reasons, safety included. But you know, some guys actually use radios to talk to each other while they're on a stalk as well. Now, you know, you can have an ethics question about that. You can say, yeah, that's not ethical, you shouldn't be doing that. But I mean, the fact of the matter is we're using rifles and reaching out, you know, hundreds of yards to put something down. So I don't really think it's unethical. Technology is used all the time. That being said, check with your local state regulations before you use and do something like this to hunt with. I'm not going to say whether I do or don't. I don't think it's a problem. I have checked my state regulations, and I do follow all the laws, though, so I will say that. That being said, radios are just great. I rock this Baofeng. We put aftermarket antennas on them to reach out pretty far, and then we use these earpieces. So that does a couple things. It allows you to talk, to be quiet, and not, you know, run your radio out in the field. A lot of times I've seen guys with radios, and you know, they're pulling them out and you know, it's making noise and stuff, and I would never want to bust up a hunt. But it's great. It allows you to clip on this little mic right here, run a radio to your ear, you know, just like the FBI. All right, I hope you enjoyed these 5 little fun tips. Again, these are just simple little things that I do to improve my hunts. You know, they're kind of gear related, comfort related, but they're just 5 things that I started doing this past year that I really like. All right, so if you're on a stalk, slow down, make it count, because it's game on. Peace.
All right, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, I'm going to include affiliate links if you want to buy any of this stuff.